Michael Davis pressed his navy blue passport against the glass scanner for the third time. He smiled nervously at the people waiting behind him. He was tired. The flight from JFK to Rome had taken 8 hours. All he wanted was a cappuccino and a view of the Colosseum. He was an American citizen. The golden eagle on his passport was supposed to be the ultimate key, opening every door in the world. But the gate didn't open. Instead, a red light flashed. Access denied. Visa required. "Excuse me," Michael said to the Italian border police officer approaching him. "There must be a glitch. I'm American. We don't need visas." The officer didn't smile. He didn't check the machine. He simply pointed to a new line on the far left. A line filled with hundreds of other confused, angry Americans holding blue passports. "Not anymore," the officer said in broken English. "New rules. No visa, no entry. Please step aside, sir." Michael felt a cold knot in his stomach. "But I have a honeymoon reservation. I have a return ticket." "Step aside," the officer repeated, his hand resting on his holster. For the first time in his life, Michael Davis wasn't a VIP guest of the world. He was an illegal alien. He was being deported before he even stepped outside. This scene played out thousands of times across the continent that morning. From the canals of Venice to the boulevards of Paris, the gates slammed shut. For 70 years, the Atlantic Alliance was the bedrock of Western civilization. It was built on shared values, shared wars, and shared travel. But in the winter of 2025, that alliance hit an iceberg. In retaliation for the United States freezing green card applications for Europeans, the European Union triggered the nuclear option. They invoked the principle of reciprocity. They suspended the visa waiver program. The headline was simple, but the shockwave was seismic. Europe requires visas for Americans. Today, we take you inside the diplomatic meltdown. We look at the empty hotels, the furious politicians, and the end of the era where an American passport meant you owned the world. To understand why Michael is sleeping on the floor of an airport in Rome, we must go to Brussels. Ylva Johansson, the EU Commissioner for Home Affairs, stood at the podium. For months, she had been warning Washington. She had sent letters. She had made phone calls. She had politely asked Antony Blinken why a German engineer or a French doctor could no longer get a green card to work in Silicon Valley. Washington had ignored her. They thought Europe wouldn't dare. They thought Europe needed American money too much. They were wrong. The European Union is not a vassal state, Johansson declared, her voice echoing in the chamber. Reciprocity is the foundation of our relationship. If the United States closes its doors, imagine a family in Ohio wanting to go to Disneyland Paris. They now have to drive to Chicago for an interview at the French consulate, pay hundreds of dollars in fees, and wait 6 weeks for approval. Rest? They cancel the trip. They go to Florida instead. While the politicians play chess, the pawns are suffering. And in this game, the pawns are the tourism workers of Europe. We travel to Venice. Usually, at this time of year, the Rialto Bridge is packed with Americans wearing baseball caps and spending dollars. Today, it is quiet. Too quiet. "It is a catastrophe," says Luigi, the owner of a boutique hotel. "Americans are 40% of my revenue. They tip well. They eat the expensive fish. The Germans? The French? They count every cent. Without the Americans, I cannot pay my staff." Luigi isn't alone. In Paris, luxury stores on the Champs-Élysées report a 60% drop in sales. In London, which aligned with the EU rules due to a separate treaty, the West End theatres are seeing empty seats. The European tourism lobby is furious at Ylva Johansson. They are protesting with banners saying, "We want Yankees." But the European public, the sentiment is different. There is a layer of schadenfreude, joy in others' misfortune, among the European locals. For years there has been resentment about over-tourism and the perceived arrogance of American travelers. The digital nomads driving up rents in Lisbon. The loud tourists disrespecting churches in Rome. We spoke to Claire, a student in Barcelona. "I feel bad for the individuals," she admits, "but politically, it feels good. America always puts walls up. They built a wall with Mexico. They banned Muslims. They banned green cards. Now they face a wall. It is poetic justice." This cultural divide is the real story. The Atlantic Wall isn't just bureaucratic. It is psychological. The admiration Europe once had for America has eroded into annoyance. Washington didn't take the humiliation quietly. 2 days ago, the White House threatened a countermeasure. Rumors are swirling about a 100% tariff on French wine, Italian cheese, and German cars. If Europe stops American people, America will stop European products. We are watching the rapid decoupling of the world's 2 largest economies. Antony Blinken is currently on a plane to Brussels for an emergency summit. The stakes couldn't be higher. If this isn't resolved, NATO operations could be affected. How can you have a military alliance when the soldiers of one country need a visa to enter the territory of the other to defend it? Let's go back to the human level. We met Sarah in New York and Matteo in Milan. They have been dating for 2 years. They usually meet every month. "I can't go," Sarah cries, showing us her rejection letter. "The consulate said I didn't have sufficient ties to the home country because I'm a freelancer. They think I want to illegally immigrate to Italy. Me, illegally immigrate to Italy." The irony is sharp. For a century, Italians migrated to America for a better life. Now, the European Border Control suspects Americans are trying to escape their own failing economy to find a better life in Europe. It is a complete reversal of history. Michael Davis is back in New York. He never saw the Colosseum. He lost $4,000 on non-refundable tickets. He looks at his passport. The eagle is still there. The words United States of America are still there. But it feels lighter, less powerful. For 70 years, being American meant you were the VIP guest of the planet. You walked through the fast lane. You were welcomed, envied, sometimes resented, but always let in. That era is over. The Atlantic Ocean has just become a lot wider. And for the first time, Americans are realizing that walls work both ways. If you lock your neighbors out, eventually you lock yourself in.